Hey guys, it's Bruce Tall Guy Miller at Airstream of South Florida, division of North Trail RV here in sunny Fort Myers. Welcome. We're going to talk today about the new 2020 Airstream 30-foot Classic. Now, some of you may recall that when the 2019 came out, and I did a similar video, I talked about how it was a benchmark year for the Classic, and it really was. So what we have here is the same great Classic with a couple of really nice upgrades. So we're gonna do a quick walk around on the outside here, and then we'll take a look inside, and I think you're gonna be highly impressed. It's just a beautiful, beautiful travel trailer. So we're standing here right now under the Zip-D power awning, and one of the beautiful things about the Classic series that we talked about last year in its benchmark year was the smart control technology. So I'm gonna reach in here, grab my phone, and I'm actually going to pull up this Airstream on my phone right now. Now, I've got all kinds of controls inside. I can do everything, put awnings in and out, lights on and off, and all kinds of things. But I also have this app right here. We'll take a closer look in a moment. But just to show you how really cool this is, I'm going to press a button and close the awning. I can actually stop the awning. So wait a minute, I didn't mean to do that. Let's put it back out. And I'm gonna leave it out for now, but I wanted to show you how awesome that is. And I can actually be 2,000 miles away and do that if that's what I choose to do. I can turn lights on and off, I can open vent fans, I can adjust the AC, put the main awning in and out, all kinds of things. So this Zip-D awning is pretty awesome. And by the way, this is umbrella fabric. Zip-D has been around for a long, long time. Airstream was using Zip-D awnings clear back in the 70s when I first started selling Airstreams. This fabric is amazing. It's fade resistant, mold and mildew resistant. I've seen these things 30 years old and the fabric still looks new. So obviously you need to take care of it. There's a few little things you can do there, but it's very, very low maintenance, and it just lasts and lasts and lasts, unlike the vinyl awnings you find on the SOBs of some other brands that mildew the very, very first year because you're rolling them up and they hold moisture and all that kind of thing. We've got our really, really nice lighted door handle, and I know you can't see it much right now, but at night it's a beautiful blue, and I can turn that on or off. Of course, the Classic has the doorbell. Since we're right here, we'll talk about the door. Of course, the door is virtually the same on every Airstream travel trailer, the conventional travel trailers, but we do need to talk about it because it's pretty amazing. This screen door has 16 welds in it, where most manufacturers will screw these together or rivet them together. This has 16 welds. And this unit here, the main door, by the way, takes 8 hours, takes one man an entire shift to build this door. We've got the solid machine billet aluminum hinges. It's just very, very, very well built. I actually saw a photograph not too long ago on Facebook where someone's dog had chewed through the door of their box trailer while they were gone. They come home, the dog's head was sticking out the door. Never gonna happen on an Airstream. This is all metal. So, and it's like a bank vault. I mean, it's a very firm, solid shutting door. It's very, very secure. You don't have to worry about somebody getting in your Airstream through the door. They might tear the door up trying, but it is very, very secure. The steps, got the all aluminum steps. These are now on every Airstream above the Bambi series. The Caravelle has a little bit different one, but it's aluminum step on the smaller ones as well. So just a conventional fold-up step. We've seen them for a long time from Airstream, but they are amazing steps. They're virtually maintenance-free. Hit the hinges with a little dry graphite once in a while, and they just last and last. We've got our stainless stone guards, as we do on most of the larger Airstreams. Again, everything except the Bambi series. These are hinged. You can clean behind them. These are our stone guards, our Lexan stone guards on the top. They're hinged, so we can clean behind them as well. This one here, this main one in the center, also doubles as a window awning. So when you get where you're going, you can prop it up, and then you can open your window, have a little window shade. We've got our spare tire down here underneath. There's a little lever down there that allows us to lower it. We've got a portable solar connection right there. However, the Classic comes with 3 90-watt panels on the roof, so you've already got 270 watts of solar on the roof, and that's all standard, by the way. There's only one option on a Classic, and we'll talk about that inside. 2 glass mat batteries, 2 40-pound aluminum propane tanks in a nice cover here. Just give you a quick peek. They also have sensors on them so you can monitor this from that application I showed you a moment ago. We're going to talk more about that. And you also have a panel inside you can monitor them, so you can tell when your propane is getting low. In fact, it'll give you an alarm. We have the 4,000-pound tongue jack. We have the new Demco latch. This latch is really nice. You don't even have to lift it up when you're hitching. It simply pops up, drops back down, and latches when you put the weight on it. Much easier to use than the old one. We had to slide back and slide forward to unlatch, that kind of thing. Down here, we've got our propane valve where we can connect a propane gas grill or a propane power generator, something like that. Take the propane right out of the tanks here so you don't have to carry gasoline with you or carry another propane tank for a small grill. Another rock guard. Here we have our window awnings. These things are awesome. They just, they give you some shade for the windows. They help keep the Airstream cooler, and we've got them all the way around. Again, standard on the Classic. This happens to be a vent for the Aldi system, which is the heat, hot water. We'll talk about that a little bit inside. You can actually see one of the stabilizer jacks there. These are power stabilizer jacks. We'll point out that control on the other side. This is a storage tube for your sewer hose. And a lot of folks like to keep one in the rear bumper. I actually use both. I have one there, one in the rear bumper. I tend to use the one in the rear bumper, and this one becomes a spare, but it's pretty darn handy. This is an outdoor shower. Don't happen to have the key in my pocket for this, but you open this up. There's nice hot and cold water there. There's a shower head, and there's all of that in there. It's really nice. Here's our cable satellite hookup. We can do either cable or satellite. We've got them both there. And this is our shore power. Being a 30-footer, dual AC is standard, so that's a 50 amp. Now it comes with a 30 amp adapter as well. So if you're somewhere they don't have 50 amp, you can still plug into 30 amp and run one AC, and you can choose which one you want to run. Refrigerator vent. Of course, the Classic comes with the standard 16-inch Michelin tires. This is our potable water fill. That's where we fill our water tank. Moving on back here, we've got some systems things in here. Here's where we have our city water connection. This is our black tank flush. This is just an overflow vent. And right through here is a little door I can open to run the water hose up in and connect to the city water, so that when I'm sitting somewhere in a resort for a while, I don't have to have this door open. The hose will just come out the bottom. This one happens to be a twin bed model. It could just as easily be a queen, but because it is a twin bed, it has storage right here that goes in under the beds. We've got some storage in the back as well. In the sunlight, you can't see it very well, but there's a nice light in there. There's a light in all of those. We have another little window awning back here over this one. And right here we have our dump station. We have our main tank, which would be the black tank, and we have the auxiliary or wash tank, which would be the gray tank. And those are simply knife valves. You pull them out to drain them. This is a bayonet style cap. Put your sewer hose on there, put it in the dump station, pull the valve. Always dump the black first, dump the gray second. Rinses out your hose for you. Got a nice little LED light here, so can't see it much in the daylight, but if you're dumping at night, it's very, very helpful. Moving on around back here, we have some storage in the rear bumper here I mentioned a moment ago. Now this is wet storage, so you want to put things in here that the water won't bother, like wheel chock, sewer hoses, things like that. But that's pretty handy. We have another outside storage compartment here. Again, it has a light built in. It's pretty good size. And there's a little basement under this one. There's these panels you take off here, and you've got about as much space in a level below as you do in top there, so it's real nice. Got our rear window awning here. Every Airstream today in the traditional Airstream lineup has a rear view camera. That is not a backup camera, it's a rear view camera. You see through it the whole time you're driving. So you'll see a good 3 lanes of traffic behind you, but it also helps you when you're backing. There's actually a microphone built into that camera as well. So if someone's in the vehicle backing and someone's back here and you want to yell stop real quick, they're going to hear you in the cab. Now, no microphone in the cab, guys, so the guys that are driving don't get to yell back, but you do have a microphone there. It's pretty handy. Again, another storage compartment here, just like the one on the other side, good size. And then we have this little compartment below. This is a small storage compartment. It's good for a little toolkit, something like that. Whatever strikes your fancy, you can put in there. Moving on around, we have our stove range hood vent, which latches for when you're going down the road. Outdoor light here. We have 110, so that when you're out here under your awning, you can plug in little television or whatever maybe lights or patio lights or whatever, awning lights you want to put on out here. And then here are stabilizer controls. So front and rear, extend and retract. So you can actually get leveled up and you don't have to get out a crank, you don't have to get out a drill. You simply push these buttons, they come down, they adjust to the terrain, and they stabilize your unit for you. So welcome to the inside of the 2020-30 Airstream Classic, the epitome of luxury. This thing is awesome. We've got the Villa sofa here, inner spring cushions, everything. It's got the built-in incliners here. I can push the button, put my feet up. I got some fairly long legs. I got plenty of room here. There's a USB port here as well on each side. We have a nice little table here for snacks, drinks, that kind of thing, if you don't have a third person sitting in the middle there. So you got these recliners on both sides. We have the Aldi heat system in here, which I mentioned outside, and so we talk about it inside. The Aldi heat is a radiant heat, and we've got the radiator along the side here. But the beauty of that radiant heat is that it runs clear around the entire perimeter of the Airstream. So the walls and windows always stay warm. There's vents back here behind the lounge. It goes all the way around. There's vents along the wall under the dinette. There's vents behind the galley. They go around the bed. They're actually between the bed and the side wall when you're in the twin bed back there. It's really awesome. That also heats the hot water. And we're going to take a look at that Aldi control here in a moment. But that's one of the things that is exclusive to the Classic. It's very, very, very nice. Another thing that's exclusive to the Classic are these valances and these blinds. I love these blinds. This is the day shade here, okay? But I can open that, I can pull that down, and if I want true blackout, I pull this one down. And unlike a roller blind, it really is a blackout because this valance keeps any side light from coming in, and it really, really does a nice job. If you close up all your blinds, you close your overhead skylight blinds, you close your little vista blinds and so on, you can sleep till noon in here, and it's nice and dark. You won't realize you're sleeping that late. But we have some storage here in these armrests. That's actually where the cushions store for the tabletop when this makes into a bed, and it does. If we move on around here to the dinette, I'll show you how this works. It's a power dinette, because coring's a little bit heavy, so you don't want something fastened to the wall that you have to raise up and down. We simply press a button. Now, one thing I like about this, and I don't know that this was intentionally designed for this purpose. I think it was just designed because it makes it easy to make the bed. But if you travel and like to do business while you're on the road, it's nice to have some kind of an area to use as a desk. Well, a table like this is a little bit high for that. You're reaching up here if you got a computer, keyboard, that kind of thing. With this, I can lower it down to a comfortable desk height, still keep my long legs under here, and get it down to a nice working height for a desk, which is really, really handy. Of course, if I'm gonna go ahead and make the bed, I put it on down, I get my cushions out of the armrests up there, make this into a nice bed, so if you have overnight guests, you got a place for them to stay. Okay, so we have a nice smart TV here in the Samsung TV. It's got all the apps built into it you might want, like Netflix and Amazon Prime and all those things. And it does swing out, by the way. It's on a swing arm, so you can swing it out and angle it around. Here we have one of the really nice upgrades for 2020 in the Classic. They've gone to this Fusion stereo, which is a huge, huge improvement over the Polk Audio. And Melinda and I have a 2019 Classic. We absolutely love it, but boy, do I wish I had this sound system. It's really nice.
30 days of purchase date.
And it sounds great. I've got a couple of different zones here instead of what you would call a balance. I can adjust zones for volume, front and rear, all those kinds of things. It's a nice touch screen. It's got a lot of great features. The Bluetooth on it is awesome and everything. And we'll do another video and go into some detail on that because we could spend 10 minutes talking about that system. It is really, really nice. You're going to love it. Okay, so here is the C-Zone system. This is the brains of this system. This is what allows me to control this unit from my phone. Now, there's another piece of the puzzle we'll talk about here in a moment, but I can control everything in the Airstream from this panel. Now, it doesn't mean I have to come to this panel to control it. There are remote panels throughout the Airstream, and I'll point some of those out, that allow us to control things that are regional to those locations. But I've got all kinds of things here. For instance, if I want to go to individual control, I can come here, I can control everything from awning lights, and it's alphabetical, galley lights, fans, water pump, all kinds of stuff here. I can turn them on or off. I come back here, I've got modes. I can go to sleep mode or cinema mode or onboard mode. Away mode is where we're at is inactive right now. Onboard mode is active. Think of that as being your use or store modes on a battery disconnect, although there is a battery disconnect as well. When Melinda and I walk out the door of ours, we either hit away mode or sleep mode, and we choose that depending on what lights we want left on or not left on. Away mode will shut everything down. It allows the climate control to still work, so you still have AC and that kind of thing, but it shuts all lights and everything else off. Cinema mode will dim some lights and so on, so you can watch a movie, that kind of thing. On board, and there's one of these panels by the door, is like when you're walking in from being away, hey, we're home, we want lights on, you hit on board, boom, they all come on. Sleep mode we use when we get ready to go to bed because it turns everything off and also dims lights on some of these panels so they don't disturb you if you're a light sleeper. This over here is the control for the Aldi system. This allows me to adjust the inside temperature. So that's the actual temperature that I'm setting. Here is, I can control, this is a boost system for hot water. If I want hot water real quick and I want extra hot water, I can hit that. It'll boost the system, heat it up more quickly, and that boost resets in about 15 minutes or so. On electric, the electric is now off on the heat system. I can turn on 1 kilowatt or 2 kilowatt. With 50 amp, I can have 2 kilowatts, so I've got more heating power. And down here is where I turn the gas on or off. And the gas is on, that's why it's giving me an alarm, so I'm gonna turn it off. And then we've got all kinds of settings for different features in here, that kind of thing. And again, another 15-minute video just on this would be entirely possible. So we'll leave it at that for now. That's really, really nice system. We love it. It's a very even heat. It is very quiet. You don't get the sudden burst of cold air from the forced gas air furnace when it first kicks on. You don't get the temperature fluctuation of a couple of degrees like you do with a gas forced air, and the thermostat, you know, kicks on when it goes down a little bit, warms it back up, and then it goes down, up and down. You don't get any of that with this. So that is a really, really nice feature. In here, we have our Blu-ray player. We also have a USB in. Which is real nice, and that also charges as well. We got a little 110 outlet up here that's being utilized for the Blu-ray player and that kind of thing. By the way, there's a 110 outlet behind the television as well, for the television and things like that back there. Got the nice big fridge, same fridge we had last year. Fridge and freezer, really sweet Dometic freezer and fridge. It does a great, great job. Got the nice pantry here. Slide out pantry. You can adjust these up or down. Looks like somebody's planning on putting something really tall on that top shelf there, but that's real nice. A lot of big drawers in the 30 Classic too. By the way, here's a little spice rack like thing here. There's a real big drawer right under the fridge here. And there's one right here that I almost forgot to mention. There's a latch there, I'll find it, there it is. Nice drawer there. The front dinette, by the way, has systems under it, so that mechanicals, so that does not have any storage. As we walk on back here to the bathroom, I'll pull this door clear on around, which is nice that you can do. We do that quite a bit. Nice full-length mirror here on the 30 Classic. As you look in the bathroom here, because of that Aldi system, we've got a heated towel bar, nice Corian in here, nice big sink, another big mirror here on the wall. Nice hamper built in here as well. And then there's a nice cabinet here. This has 4 shelves that go in it that you can adjust to your choosing, and it makes a real nice cabinet. A lot of storage underneath. Moving on back, we've got, this is a twin bed model. It could just as easily be the queen. But we have, since we have the twin bed, we've got a nice nightstand in the middle here. Nice drawer. We've got drawers underneath. There's 4 of them, nice big ones. And if we lift this up, you'll notice there's a nice tray. And we've got that on both sides. Melinda uses that, I believe, for linens and things like that, which is real handy. You've got 110 outlets on each side here. So you got one for each bed. You've got USB plugs on each side. You've also got a control for the bed, because these beds lay down and raise up. And then there's a switch right by the bed too. So you don't have to get up here and reach this button. There's one right down there. So you can lay in bed and you can adjust this. We've got the same day shades and night shades back here, which are awesome. We've got these little half wardrobes on each side. They have shelves in them, but they also have hanging rods. So if you want, you can take the shelves out and hang things there. Lots of overhead storage. Notice in the Classic too, that as soon as I open the door, a light comes on. There's a light in every one of these cabinets that comes on automatically when I open the door, which is really, really, really nice. I also have one of these C-Zone panels, and that's another one of the remote panels right here. And here I've got sleep mode, I've got onboard mode, I've got accent lights, which are these lights overhead. I've got ceiling lights, reading lights, and the shower light and fan in there. Now, I also have a panel just like that, right up here over this bed, underneath the cabinet, and over this bed, underneath the cabinet. If it's a queen, it'll have one in the middle, but that allows us to lay in bed, turn on all the lights, turn off all the lights, put it in sleep mode, and do anything we need to do like that without getting out of bed, which is really, really nice. Here we have another television here, another swing arm, so we can pull it out, swing it around so both people back here can see it. We have a nice little dividing curtain here, so you can have some privacy if you want to close off the bedroom. We have a second one of these that allows us to close off the bathroom and the bedroom. Gives you kind of a suite effect, if you will. Here's our shower. The shower floor in there is heated as well, which is really, really nice. We really, really like that, especially on a nice cool morning. Moving on around here, 2 nice big wardrobes, actually one with 2 doors. And for the moment, the cushions that go onto the armrests are stored in here, but that is a cedar lined wardrobe, really nice. There's a safe in the floor, which is really nice. Behind this cabinet here, these are access panels, but not cabinets. Behind this one are the brains for the C-Zone system, the smart control, and behind this one is your converter box where your breakers and fuses and things like that are. Moving on up here, we got the really nice Dinette with the glass lid here. It looks like a cooktop. That is not. There's the cooktop, but they put this lid on here, which is really nice. It makes it a nice flush finish. Nice oven, by the way, in the Classic with this cooktop and oven. The oven has an igniter as well. You don't have to stand on your head to light it. We've got lots of storage up here. Here's our Victron solar controller. This is what controls the actual solar panels on the roof. And the reality is the controller is hidden somewhere else, but this is a monitor. Allows us to see the percentage of charge, allows us to see the charge rate, allows us to see battery voltage, and a lot of things like that. We have a nice convection microwave. So you can actually use this as a microwave, but you can also bake in it. You can do cakes and pizzas and cookies and things like that. Which brings me to the one option I mentioned that's available on a Classic, and that is an oven delete. If you delete that oven, you get 2 drawers, 2 big drawers. And a lot of people choose to do that because they can bake in this as well. The folks that choose not to do that typically are people who think they might be off the grid more often, because this is a propane stove. You can use this off the grid with no AC, no electric. This does require electric. So if you're off the grid and you want to use this, you're going to have a small generator. We've got a nice window here in the kitchen with a nice roller blind. And that window does open. We've got these great sink covers here, and you'll notice there's a grid down here, kind of a drying grid in the bottom of the sink as well, which is really handy. We've got the built-in spray nozzle right there with the Kohler faucet. Down here we have a couple of silverware drawers. We have a trash bin that is seated. There's a bigger drawer at the bottom here, and there's also another monitor panel down here for your tanks and so on, which is a little bit redundant because you can see them also in the C-zone. And I mentioned some drawers. This one is a door, not a drawer, but a little storage area, and that's a little bit shallow because you got a wheel well back in there. But here's another big drawer, which is really, really nice. Moving on around, we've got the nice counter extension here. Doorbell is kind of tucked in behind that. There's a magazine rack down here at 110, but you can also see on the galley, I mentioned the heat that goes all the way around. See the heat vent here, and they've got this nice lip here so you don't have things roll off the counter and go back in there, but you got nice heat coming up there, and we got our fire extinguisher and everything. It's awesome. Now, the other piece of the magic for this C-zone system in this phone app that I mentioned is you have to have some connectivity in order for it to work. My phone has to be able to talk to that C-zone system, and to do that I have to have Wi-Fi. All Airstream Classics come with Airstream Connect built in, which means I can do things like turn on a vent fan from my phone, and I don't have to be here. I just have to have my app. I can be 1,000, 2,000 miles away. Turn it on, turn it off, do lights, adjust. I can turn air conditioning on and off. I'm not going to turn that one on because I'm only plugged into 30 amp. Well, neither one's on, so let's turn one of them on. So there I'm going to turn that one on. It just kicked on. Somebody's got it set on 68. I'm going to raise the temperature. I'll put it on about 80. I can change it from auto to adjust the speed, the fan speed, however I want. I can do onboard, I can do cinema, I can do sleep mode, check all my tank levels here, make sure I've got 110. I can be away from my Airstream and tell if I've got a power outage. I can tell what's going on. Here, another new feature, I mentioned a couple of new features. One was that Fusion Stereo. For 2020, the Classic now has built-in tire pressure monitoring, and you can monitor it from this app right here. And right here it's showing me what they are, and it's telling me it's normal. And so I can check my tire pressure anytime while I'm going down the highway, anything. I can always know. And the beauty of that is if you have a, I have folks say, well, I don't need a tire pressure monitoring system. I check my tires every time I stop, and I get that. But if you have a 200-mile leg of your trip and you have checked your tire pressure and you take off down the road and 100 miles later you've run over a nail, you don't know that. Now you have a slow leak. That leak eventually causes those sidewalls to flex more than they should. They build up heat, pressure goes up, you blow a tire. That's why tire pressure monitoring systems are so, so important. This is Bruce Tall Guy Miller with Airstream of South Florida, Division of North Trail RV in sunny Fort Myers. I'll see you on the road.